Hey everyone, Urban Architect here, and welcome back to the series where I look back on my older cities. And I do hope you enjoyed episode 1, and I have really been enjoying this series, looking back on all my shitty old cities, and seeing how far we've come. And anyhow, with that being said, welcome to the very creatively named city of Ice Bay. Ice for the snow, and Bay for the bay. Very terrible name. But I haven't even named Canada yet, so naming cities clearly isn't a talent of mine. Anyhow, first of all, very important to note, this save is very broken, so sometimes trees just will appear and disappear. And yeah, this save is only functional in a sense that we're able to fly around. But anything beyond that, and we're asking too much. And I'm sure by now you've seen this wonderfully terrible map, and you're wondering, oh my god, what map is that, so I can never build on it? Well, I made this map when I was a kid. It's very terrible. This bay does not make sense. The island does not make very much sense. The mountains are terrible. The river doesn't bend right. There's no reason for there to be a river here. But, hey man, it works. Anyhow. So yeah, not a lot to look at on this one as much as the last one. But we can start with our highways. And we're following the same concept. Ooh, look at the trees loading. We're following the same concept of one highway for private vehicles, one highway for trucks. That's a total of 16 lanes of traffic, and they all get parsed between highways through these very sexy, curvy, and non-functional intersections. Look at that. Car accidents everywhere. The curves, they're terrible. This is actually, no joke, the worst intersection that I've ever built. Anyhow, you can follow our very beautiful randomly concrete elevated highway across the river and down here, but we'll start with the airport, which is way over here on this outcropping. And I will admit, the asset I used for the airport, very odd, I don't remember its name. It's kind of nice, but there's a lot wrong with it. First of all, this airport loop is like speed limit 20. The angles are terrible, the curves are terrible, there's no parking anywhere. The train station is an abomination. But where this airport experiences its biggest failures is in the plane safety. You see, these two runways are designed basically so that all the planes will hit each other on their way down or up. And if an enterprising pilot is able to survive getting to the runway, they still have to contend with the massive 1,000-foot antenna we've put right by the runway. So yeah, this airport, I think this is like the most recent airport I've built. So I don't know if I've gotten any better. But goddamn, the bar sure is low. Although look at that nice view of the skyline. That's kind of nice, you gotta admit. Anyhow, we can follow our airport. We can follow the highway down. Take a quick pit stop at this crime of an intersection. Look at that. Look at this. It's a big roundabout. It's terrible. And we can go to the suburbs. And I started building the suburbs for this city, hand placing all the houses, and that's when I got demotivated and moved on to the city that will be the next episode of this series. And I have to admit, this I like. I like this. This works very well for me in my opinion. This skyline is very nice. The suburbs themselves aren't bad. They need more trees. But as simple suburbs go, the only big problem is the fact that we're using these tiny lanes with parking as connectors between arterials. So there's no real good road hierarchy to be found here. But outside of that, the suburbs, they're kind of neat. I'm not too judgmental of these suburbs. Oh, we had a terrible pond. The pond was bad. This pond was bad. The railway tunnel off of the railway bridge all lead to nowhere. That railway never comes back up. I don't know what it was for. And over here, our commuter rail station is very terrible. Very, very terrible. No parking, nothing. Just shit. Anyhow, we follow the highway down. Some trees disappear, broken save, to what is the nicest area of the city, the industrial area. And the warehouses do work together pretty nice. The rail infrastructure is pretty fucked up though. We have this big rail train station with this beautiful bridge. I mean, I don't even know why I bothered at that point, right? We have some cars parked on the station. That's very cool. You don't see that often, do you? But I do love this power plant right here. Works pretty great. The container port is alright. It could be worse. Obviously, there's a big crime here in how we have these big bridges connecting the container port to this highway, but nothing to this highway, which does lead to this. This is cool. I like this. I mean, I could do it a million times better now, but that applies for everything in this city. But this is cool. Don't get me wrong. Real recognizes real. And over here, we had our office buildings for the port. And you'll never not see me use this Rotterdam building in the port. Even if it doesn't make sense, it just looks too good there. And yeah, obviously, the horrible rail infrastructure winds its way towards downtown. Because there's nothing more important than having cargo rail connections between your port and your downtown core, right? And it passes through here. Which, in terms of this area, I think it's the worst building selection I've ever had in my life. Most of the buildings here, nothing against the asset creators, they just don't work very well with each other. This building doesn't work well with this. This is bad. This is bad. Terrible stuff right here. And the road's too big. The road network, terrible. The rails, just terrible, terrible, terrible. I mean, I'm saying that a lot, but that's because the city earns it a lot. And obviously, we had to have our rails. Right, they curve in for this sexy, sexy double-decker bridge right here, which goes to our grand station in the middle of nowhere on the edge of the town, which has a lovely little memorial for everyone killed in a derailment by this thing. And our criminal urban planning continues as this massive fucking highway goes all the way into downtown. All the way. All 16 lanes. All 16 lanes just come all the way in, and it's terrible. And once they get here, it goes into a 16 lanes going to 4-lane roundabout. And then exits onto a 5-lane road. So yeah, we go from 16 to 5 lanes, passing through 4 in the middle, which I'm sure, as you can imagine, is very, very terrible. Now this city was weird because on this left side I put in a lot of work. On this right side I didn't. So we have some nice stuff here and some ass stuff there. Right, this hospital area is kind of nice. And I mean the buildings over here, especially on this little geographically ugly outcropping, they kind of work well together. The Legacy Tower from Chicago, for example, looks really, really good here. I think the building from Los Angeles looks lost, but a lot of stuff looks lost here. And obviously this building right here is a good 6-7 stories higher than it should be. And then at the pinnacle of our downtown we have a terrible, terrible cruise terminal. And I used really old buildings, like this is really old, this is really old, the train station was really old, and they just don't work, right? And then over here we had our downtown, and I really do wish there was more I could show you. And I can show you the trains. Only 2 rails escaped this station, and they jank their way awkwardly through downtown to another station because I didn't know what a metro was. And I mean, I did know, I just didn't use them. And then they end here before the cruise terminal, and the roads, oh my god, there's so much wrong with this city. And I wish I could show you more of it. I wish I could show you the transit and the traffic, but the save is really broken. And most of this is just buildings next to one another. But the next save we have is going to be a lot more interesting than this one. So yeah, this has been Ice Bay, ladies and gentlemen. It is ice, it has a bay, and it's kind of shit. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time in the luscious green city of Valley. As you can see, I never got the hang of naming my cities well. Bye.